How did this lady who worked 42 years as an hourly production employee become one of the most popular speakers in America? Because Mildred Ramsey's inspiring message about how to manage employees is from her experiences on the shop floor, not from a textbook. Mrs. Ramsey gained national recognition when she spearheaded a movement of 31,000 of her fellow employees to stop the forced unionization of her company. Now she is in continuous demand by management all across the country to tell why she fought so hard to crush one of the largest union organizing drives in the history of the labor movement. Video Seminars presents The Supervisor, featuring Mildred Ramsey.
Management team, your employees are not personnel. This lady had her child in a restaurant. And the waitress walked up, the mama gave her order, and the waitress turned to the child, and the mother said, "She'll have a hamburger." She ignored the mother and asked the child again. The mother said, "I said if she'd have a hamburger." She said, "I want her to tell me." I said, "What will you have, honey?" She said, "I'll have a hamburger." The waitress walked off, and the little girl said, "Mama, she thinks I'm a person." Your employees are not personnel. They are persons. And they will all respond to the same stimuli. We all respond to courtesy. It's a knee-jerk reaction. We do this before we even think. On the back of my little book called The Supervisor, I have listed the 7 C's of motivation. The first one is courtesy. We all respond to this. Concern, consideration, compassion. We all respond to these things. Anytime you make an attempt to communicate with anyone in your world, you get one of 2 things. You either get response from this person or you get reaction. Whether it's your spouse, one of your teenagers, an employee, or someone else. Anytime you make an attempt to communicate with somebody in your world, you get one of 2 things. You either get response from this person or you get reaction. Depending not upon this other person, depending on the way you approached him. They all will respond to the positive approach. They all will react to the negative approach. I was in a swimming pool in Statesville, North Carolina, where I was going to do a speech for a textile company up there. My sister was with me, and we were just getting our exercise in the pool. See, we didn't want to get our hair wet. You know, these $10 hairdos, you can't wet them. We were just getting our exercise in the pool, and there were some kids in there, and this one little boy was wild, y'all. He was just knocking water everywhere. And so my sister grabbed him. She slung him about halfway across that pool. She said, "Get out from here, son. Get on over yonder. We don't want to get our hair wet. Go on." Y'all, water started coming from every direction. This little rascal had a rubber seahorse with a hole in its nose. He was standing way over yonder, squeezing it. Big streams of water coming right down on our hair. Reaction. I said, "Come here a minute. Baby, come over here a minute." He came over and I sat down with him on these steps, you know, that go down into the water of a pool. I said, "Have you got a grandmother?" "Oh, yes, ma'am. She's sitting right over yonder." I said, "Well, I'm a grandma, too." "And you see that room over yonder with all those windows? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to make a speech over there in front of a big crowd of people, son. And I didn't want to get my hair wet tonight. I sure would appreciate it if you help me out." Not another splash. Not another splash. The little fella paddled up to me 3 different times. Said, "What did you say your name was?" Had those little things on his feet, the fins. The 3rd time he came back again. "Now, what did you say your name was?" I got a chance to ask him if he went to Sunday school. Got to talk to the little booger. People will respond to the positive approach. They are going to react to the negative. So if you've got a problem with somebody in your world today, the answer to that problem is under your nose. What comes out right here, what doesn't come out of the way it comes out, every person in your world will respond to positive communication. And they're going to react to negative. We're going to talk about this as it relates to labor management. Y'all been talking a lot about improving employee relations. I fly a lot, and it's in every magazine and every airplane. There'll be at least one article about improving employee relations. Everybody's got a human resource department. quality circles, coffee clubs. Y'all talking about it all right, but you're preaching something you are not practicing, management team. You're preaching this, but you're not practicing this. Atlanta Journal done a recent study, and they found that 78% of all working Americans were dissatisfied with and suspicious of management. 78%, folks. You got it in your boardrooms? Oh, yeah. You've got it in your computers. You've got it in your publications. But management team, you don't have this on the shop floor. You don't have this out there where these people are. If you did have, there wouldn't be 78 million working Americans walking around out there on the job today disappointed, disgruntled, and dissatisfied with the way you manage. Any given time, we've got approximately 100 million Americans working, 78 million of them. Something wrong, right? You got it everywhere but where you need it. We're going to bring our management skills and techniques to the shop floor today, where they do you some good. Y'all get plenty of training. I do a lot of in-house work. Everywhere I go, they've got a continuing education program for bosses. Even back in the dark ages when I was working. But every once in a while, the boss would be off, and I'd say, where is he? Well, he's gone to one of those positive thinking schools. He's gone to an employee relations seminar. They've got somebody good coming in, going to talk to him, going to help him be better bosses. He come back on that job, it was business as usual. You couldn't tell that sucker had been anywhere. The company wasted the money, and they wasted the time. He didn't get a thing in this world to bring back with him. Now, when you get back on your job today, or tomorrow, whenever you go back, when you get back on your job, your employees are going to know that you went somewhere this morning. Unless you're made out of steel and your heart is a grain of mustard seed, your family is going to know it when you get home tonight. The people in your world are going to know that you went somewhere today. If they don't, we've wasted this time. You could memorize every word that's ever been written on this subject. Get up and quote it. But listen, folks, if you couldn't take some of that back in there where you make a practical application, help you out on the job, what good is it? None. So we're going to bring it to the shop floor today. This could be a matter of survival. A lot of companies failing, being bought, all this stuff. It could be a matter of survival for you. Talking about survival, so one time I saw boys on the golf course. He came down that club. He missed the ball. He hit an ant hill, killed 1,000 ants. He swung again, missed the ball again, killed 1,000 more ants. He kept swinging, missing that ball, killing ants. Finally, he killed all the ants but 2. He brought that club back up. One of those ants looked at the other one, said, if we're going to survive, we better get on the ball. A lot of management teams coming around to the fact they're going to have to get on the ball in this area. Turn 100 years of fighting into a partnership. Work with these people. Quit talking about teamwork and really be a team. There's something in it for you. If your people feel like they're getting a fair shake, people feel like they're being treated right, there's something in it for you and your company or your organization. Because you see, y'all, if they don't, they'll get even with you. I worked 42 years down there on the shop floor. Let me promise you something, boss. If you mistreat me, I'm going to get even with you. Hey, I'll find a way. You may not even know it. So one time this bunch of rich people went on a cruise to the Bahamas. They hired this little Chinese boy to cook for them. Well, he hadn't been in this country long, could hardly speak English, so they didn't pay him much, hardly anything. They didn't show him any dignity or respect whatsoever. They played tricks on him. One night, somebody emptied the ashtray in his bed. They put tacks in his little old shoes. He made him a little cake one night, and it kind of fell, and they laughed at it. But anyway, they got down to the Bahamas and got to talk. He said, you know, we haven't done Wong right. After all, he's a person. Just because he's our employee, that don't give us a right to treat him like we have. Called him out on the deck, said, Wong, we're sorry for the way we treated you. We was wrong. We're going to make amends. We're going to pay you what we should have paid you. We're going to show you the dignity and respect that's rightfully yours. And all the way back to the mainland, there'll be no more tricks played on you. He said, oh, no more ashes in blanket. That's right, Wong, no more ashes in your blanket. No more tack in Wong moccasins. That's right, no more tacks in your moccasins. No more lifey Wong cakey. That's right, no more lifey Wong cakey. He said, very good. No more pee-pee in coffee. We'll get even with you. You may be drinking some bad coffee, and you don't even know it. But your employees will find a way to get even with you if they don't feel like they're being treated right.